What is up, everybody? I am Ant. I'm joined by my good friend and co-host. Introduce yourself, my friend.
This is Tyler Peters. I am the mouth of the South, and I'm happy to be with you, Ant, on the Uncensored Wrestling Podcast. So let's dive in to Raw Is War, shall we, my friend?
Dive right on in like a swimming pool. It is July. I need to go home. It's June 8th, 1998. So
it is. I mean, we're going back to the summer, so that worked.
Yeah.
So what if it's September? It's still June to us because that's the month of Raw. So it is
quantum leaping this shit.
We are. Quantum Leap is back, and we know how to step up our games, ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gents, boys and girls, children of all ages. The Uncensored Wrestling Podcast is proud to bring to you the Attitude Years.
We bring the attitude, right, Ant? I mean, we are all about that intensity. I mean, if you ever needed entertainment, excitement, we've got it for you.
Yeah, we got a lot of that. A lot of excitement.
I'm sure. I'm raising the roof. I'm doing the fist like I'm a tough
I love
guy.
how you can see my dog sometimes in the camera.
I think friends with the dog because I'm going to have two that are probably going to attack me because I've shut the door. I have to put a hamper in front of my door or my golden doodle will attack me out of love, not meanness. She's wonderful. They're actually big wrestling fans, so she might suplex me. Boy, what a video insight that would be. My goodness.
Dude, she's invested in this whole entire conversation, man.
See, she's engaged. What a loyal listener and supporter of our dogs. Animals are wonderful. That just shows you're a great talker. You know how to steer the conversation, and I just come in with my 1 cent, not 2 cents, but 1 cent.
Yeah.
I mean, there you go. I know. I never was good at mathematics. I mean, that's why I said the 1. I didn't make it to 2 or 4 or 3.
2, 4,
3.5.
6, 8.
That's the countdown. Yeah, we appreciate Ant. We appreciate you, the listeners. And this is one of the greatest shows in the world, the Attitude Years, Attitude Era. And it's all thanks to the Italian Stallion Ant here.
Yo, thank you for that, dude. I wasn't ready for that, but
you are. Hey, Sylvester Stallone, eat your heart out. We got the real Italian Stallion right here. Not Rocky Balboa, it's Ant.
It is. These people, there's no other option.
And there's no filter on this show. That's what people respect. I mean, we love it. It's spontaneity. It's all about the Raw Is War. I mean, it's what the vision Vince McMahon wanted for podcast.
And you are the mouth of the South, right? So you.
Well, yeah, Jimmy Hart technically is, but he said I could have it. He's like, sure, kid. You know, there's a tiki bar for you. I actually stole from another podcast. They gave me that name, and I'm not worthy, but I thought gimmick infringement. I know there's going to be lawyers. Who cares about this guy from Tennessee? But I'm going to try it. I'm going to go with it, and actually claim I'm a relative of Jimmy Hart, so I can get some royalties. I'm going to be singing, making up soundtracks for the WWE superstars. I mean, we're going to get money for this thing. This is going to be
versatile, Tyler.
I'm very versatile. I'm very, my portfolio is full. I've got people, I'm in high demand, and has been kind enough to let me enjoy the ride, jump on the train. Maybe it's a crazy train. Hey, Ozzy Osbourne. We do music, so it can segue.
Well,
yeah, crazy. That's how Tyler goes. That's how Ant goes. That's how our dogs go. That's how Lon goes. Love it. Okay, somebody stop me. And I hadn't even had, well, no, I take it back. I did have coffee. I would have lied just then. I did have coffee. Okay.
You're going off the rails of a crazy train.
Hey, why not? I think we need to get off the rails and jump off of them, not in a bad way. Let me stop myself, but in a good way.
I need to go to bed. I feel like this has been a crazy week. I feel like I'm a Stone Cold Steve Austin having to deal with Vince McMahon every fucking day, tired as crap. And I'm sure I feel Vince McMahon too.
That's why this show's going to be great. You just said it. We got Stone Cold Steve Austin. We got Vince McMahon. We got Patterson Briscoe, a black tie affair. I'll let you break that down. I'm giving away spoilers. Wait a minute. Where's Paul Heyman when you need him? The The wise man, the
That
trouble.
darn Russell buddy is just fucking you up, man, with all those.
Yeah, Resto
spoilers.
Buddy is screwing my brain cells, but I love it. It's like an addictive drug or some kind of caffeine drink.
But I love it. I like.
I love you. Where's Bruce Pritchard? Brother love. Okay. Where did that come from? I told you.
I get told
getting
every
energetic.
day, and this is nice. I get told every day by a kid, Mr. Anthony, I love you. And I'm like, kid, I'm in the middle of snapping. I love you too, but can we move on? Like, let's
It's
go.
called tough love. I would rather you not bother me, but yeah, let's take a picture. We'll smile, and I appreciate you. I let me pat you on the head and say how much of an angel you are, but yet you
And
really
I'm like,
upset my day. You have really ruined it, but now I'm going to make it like a Hallmark card.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like, you the motherfucker, come smile with me. You've been a terrible fuck all day. Come on.
Let me show you a submission hold, and
Yeah.
I'll ask for forgiveness later. No, I wouldn't. I recommend that.
Yeah.
It is wrestling. We love all the little children of the world. We do.
Well, we
But
believe
we
the
have
children
to
are
be
our
real.
future. Teach them well, let them lead the way.
They are our future, and we've got a lot of future stars on this show.
We
I
sure
mean-
do. Speaking of stars, this star passed away. The Junkyard Dog. We opened to a memorial for him. Huge star in the '80s. You know, he started out
Oh,
in
sure.
with Bill Watts, I think, and then he moved on to WWE.
Yeah, Mid-South.
Yep. And so he, you know, he sort of turned this crappy gimmick into money. And you know, it's sad he passed away.
Oh, he did. It was very sad, and yeah, Junkyard Dog drew a lot of money for the territories. You said it, Mid-South. Cowboy Bill Watts was the booker who ran it. That's why JR was so appropriate for doing the narration of the video, because he had that bond, that relationship that was so special with JYD, and he made it so big under Vince McMahon later on. So
Yeah.
it's always hard when you have to open up shows, even when they're good like this, because you feel down in that moment. But I'm glad to say that his legacy and knowing how good this show is going to be lifted up our spirits. So that's all I'm going to add there.
Power to the Junkyard motherfucking dog.
Yeah, we love you, JYD, and his memory still one of the
dog.
best, the greats, the
Dog.
legends. Oh yeah, the doghouse, baby.
Terrible. But let's go over quick some of the happenings of the night. We see Vince McMahon and the Stooges, being Pat Patterson, Drill Briscoe. They come out dressed in suits, and Vince says, I come before you a gentleman with caring and sharing in my heart. He goes, you only know the Vince McMahon on TV, who's achieved unparalleled success, and when necessary will display his Herculean talent. Tonight, I am being rewarded with Humanitarian of the Year of 1998. Joining us for the presentation will be Stone Cold Steve Austin. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Now, when I saw this, I said, isn't it a little bit too early to name the Humanitarian of the Year? I mean, let's have a couple of months in 98. Why is
Not
Vince-
if you're Vince McMahon, though.
Yeah.
I mean, it works if you're Vince, man. If you're VKM, I love how he endeared himself to the audience. He's been such this villain, and this is one of the great variations you have to have. Seriously, if you're a good heel, a good bad guy. I mean, Vince and the Stooges, Patterson, Briscoe, was really the black tie affair, and pandering to the fans, saying, I've changed, or at least I'll change for tonight. Austin can even be invited. I mean, it had all the just great dynamics to it. And I don't know about you, Ant, but I thought the expressions, the way McMahon was all dressed up, and really was personable to fans. I have to laugh about it because it was so ingenious for his character.
He's like, I don't give a fuck. I'm humanitarian, yo. I have a good heart. I have unparalleled success. I have Herculean talent. That's me.
He's
I can
using those
respect
big
it.
words again. Yeah, and he's got such a big heart. Vince McMahon
Huge.
he's a good Samaritan. I mean, Vince McMahon is, I'll tell you, we talked about Hallmark moments. That is McMahon he's written all over that.
Vince is the kindest person you would ever meet.
He's a Christmas angel. It's
And
Vince
it is
McMahon.
weird, you know. It's almost like can I just say something?
You sure can.
This is gonna be really random, and it's probably because I'm tired, and it's okay. This is Nonsense Wrestling Podcast, so here we go. We lost a lot of fucked up of like people this year, like in the sense of like Okay. My like, where are we going with this? My grandma passed, my fiance's grandma passed, the queen passed away, Betty White passes away, Vince McMahon is gone from the company. Like all these things,
A lot of weird things, yeah, and
a
very
lot of
sad.
pivotal, a lot of pivotal things
Yeah,
happen this
instrumental.
year. It's very weird. So whenever I see Vince, it's almost like it, it's for example, for years I say I can't wait till he's done. I can't wait till he's done. And I'm happy that but it's almost like you're saying goodbye to your childhood,
You
because
are, yeah,
yeah,
because he was such a big part of it. That's why you're doing a podcast, having me on. We're
yeah.
discussing our fandoms. And to see Vince go, that's a representation of the old guard, of the old era, which I know a lot of people were excited to see. And I get it. Triple H, have a lot of respect for him, but
Mhm.
have a lot of respect myself for Vince McMahon, even if I don't agree with him morally and what he's doing. His
Mhm.
contributions were just undeniable as far as pro wrestling. You want to call it sports entertainment, what have
Yeah,
you. That would fit him to a T. That would be Mr. McMahon.
100%. I think like again, seeing this character of him was just so great. And for people who didn't get to experience this live, um, it's really hard to do it justice, like when you're in that's all it's really cool.
Yeah,
So
it's
yeah.
hard to put it unless you've been there, like you're saying, the experience how well these were the live shows during this era. For whatever critiques, criticisms they get, there was a lot of just great things that transpired.
Yeah, yeah, but it's just like it was just such a pivotal time, such a good time, a lot of good stuff happening. But let's move on to the first match of the night. We're the King of the Ring, first round match. We have the Godfather, Kama Mustafa, which I'm happy to see Kama take on this gimmick finally. He has a
It's
nation
about
on
time.
his side. Yes, sir. It's about damn time. Uh, and he's taking on the world's strongest man, Ken Shamrock. The Nation are sent backstage, and the Godfather nails a running splash in the corner. However, Ken Shamrock gets the win after applying an ankle lock. I didn't take much notes here on this match. But you kind of, for me, it's interesting anytime I watch like the Smoke and Skull session and I see
Right.
wrestlers compete. I have a newfound respect for Godfather. But this match was sort of just to put over Ken Shamrock, and he will move on to the King of the Ring. Obviously, he plays a pivotal role there. But what did you think of Ken Shamrock beating the Godfather?
I thought this was a pretty good match. I like how Kama started out aggressively. Shamrock executing a cross body block. I think we always view him as more technical, that MMA background. This shows you his athletic prowess. And I also like how the story they were telling, Kama targeted the injured leg of Shamrock. I always love how you tell stories with the actual, injured parts of the anatomy. And the world's most dangerous man always could transition beautifully
Mhm.
into submission holds. That's something that I took notes of. And Kama used his size, which made sense. He was the bigger guy, but
He's a big
Shamrock,
dude.
yeah, wins by the ankle lock. What is he? 6'6"? I mean, really big guy,
He's
huge.
big. He's like almost Undertaker size. Something I forgot to mention was after the match, D'Lo Brown runs down to attack Ken Shamrock, but Dan Severn makes a save, which is surprising with people because these guys were enemies in UFC back in the day. So we're seeing, you
Correct.
know, my enemy is your enemy is my friend, something like that, right?
No, that's you depicted that so correctly because these guys, there was no love lost, but they came together because they had that common adversary. So I think that's good storytelling. What do you
Mhm.
think?
I thought it was good. I mean, I didn't really care much about Dan Severn at the time because I didn't really, even now, he doesn't really have much of a personality, with the black paint, with the black shorts, black boots. The only thing that I remember is he used to wear the shirt that was always wet. So, like, that's sort of what I think
Yeah,
of it.
I think some kind of intimidation tactic is what he was trying to do, the mouth guard or mouthpiece. Yeah, that
If
was
Vince
what it
McMahon was there, I'd be fired right now on the spot because I just,
he, no, but the good thing is Vince ain't here. We complimented
bad.
Vince. Yeah, we complimented McMahon.
He hasn't been
He's
gone for like two
humanitarian of the
months.
year. Yeah, and he's still a humanitarian, even now being retired. So we've showed our dedication to Mr. McMahon, but yet we've enjoyed Triple H's, his creative genius as well. So I think we get a pass.
Well, speaking of passes, DX are downtown getting a pass in New York City, and they're spreading news about SummerSlam 1998, the Highway to House taking place at Madison Square Garden, and DX talk with New Yorkers and the police. And there's different moments that we see throughout these segments. They go over to like the Asians and they talk, to them inappropriately.
Oh, they do.
Hockey's done, and then they go to the, yeah. It was a moment. It was definitely 1998.
But yeah, they couldn't get away with that now because the way Triple H, they were doing the Pakistani accents, to your point, and a lot of the Asian descendants was definitely, I was like, my eyes got big. I'm like, whoa, you could not do this now. It's incredible. Yeah. And the women were just exposing themselves. I mean, because DX was that over. I mean, now that's a whole other level.
I thought it was funny too that the police were in on it too. The police were like, fuck it, we're gonna play too.
I know, they're like, hey, we're just honorary members of DX. And I love the guy that just came randomly from across the street, like, suck it. He was yelling and they appreciated it, and funny stuff like that. And then Road Dogg, I didn't ahead of myself. It was a different segment, but he came in like a Braveheart film in a bar and goes, freedom, just randomly or something.
I love it. I like that they're using the outside people. And
I do too. It makes it seem real. I mean, it brings some reality to it.
Sure fucking does. All right, we have a next match as a tag match. Marvelous Marc Mero with his main squeeze Jacqueline, and Jeff Jarrett with Tennessee Lee taking on Steve Blackman and Faarooq. And here are some quick notes there. Steve Blackman nails a spin kick to Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett nails a Russian leg sweep and a drop kick to Steve Blackman. All four men brawl, and then Mero talks to Jacqueline on the apron, and Steve Blackman pushes Jeff Jarrett into Marc Mero, and Blackman rolls up Jarrett to get the win. So there's going to be some issues between Jarrett and Mero because they were pushed into each other. But kind of interesting tag match, kind of just thrown in there. But what'd you think of that?
I thought for what it was pretty good. I liked what you were just saying, how they teased even the bad guys feuding with Jarrett and Mero getting distracted by Jacqueline. And with all due respect, I'd be distracted if I saw Jacqueline myself. I can't blame him. And, Mero's all about himself. He's, it's all about the Marvelous One, and that's what costs him. And I like how Blackman and Jarrett, their chemistry, how they wrestle, because Jarrett's more the old school kind of wrestler. Blackman's this martial artist. I like that whole thing that they brought together. And it was just impressive. Double J, has that more the in-ring intellect, and he was able to outwit his oppositions. We all know the powerhouse and just all man that Faarooq is. And this match was, for what it was pretty decent. I'm not going to say it was great or really good, but it was still pretty good, I would say.
Yeah, it wasn't terrible. It was a good, place to put those wrestlers on the card. So, all right, moving right along. This is the one you're talking about. D-Generation X show up in the bar at a New York City place, and they, freedom.
I knew I'd get ahead of myself. It was in one of the segments.
Hello, lady, and I'm yawning again. Hello.
Yawning's just all a part of the experience on the Uncensored Wrestling radio podcast. Is there radio in the title?
Yeah,
I see I'm on another podcast that has radio in it, and that's what happened. So I'm laughing.
It's like you ever see Cinderella from 1997? Christopher Rubin, King Alexander, Maxwell Rubenstein, Nick Jeremiah, Manuel Lassenberg. He has like a million fucking names, like his first name.
I mean, that's the thing. We've got like a million names on our association, so it's bound to run through somehow or some way.
Well, speaking of running through DX, then also we see them walking an old lady across the street because, God forbid she got run over by a car. That wouldn't be fun.
I know, and that shows you just how, speaking of having good hearts and being just gentlemen, that is DX. That fits the description. Walking the old lady, and then what I love is the bar scenes, and then more of the ladies, hey,
break it down.
Take a peek. We all do it for D-Generation X.
They sure did. So this match is our next King of the Ring first round match. Owen Hart with the Nation of Domination taking on Scorpio. Of course, the Nation are sent backstage. Owen dives to the outside and punches Scorpio. Scorpio then nails a kick to Owen's face eventually in the match. Owen nails a flying elbow drop and he gets a 2 count. Scorpio nails a spinning heel kick, gets a 2, and then a power bomb. Scorpio misses a moonsault and Owen nails a chop block. He attacks the knee and leg, and Owen applies a sharpshooter, and Owen Hart advances to the King of the Ring qualifying tournament, right? So now they have the qualifying matches to go into. This is really weird because they have the first round matches, and then at the pay-per-view, they're the qualifying, semi, and then final. So it was kind of like this match got them in.
It was a little bit different.
Yeah.
The way they planned it. I thought the match was good. I like this version of Owen Hart. I think I've stated that before on here, Ant. And, Scorpio just shows you everything. He's so effortless with concerning his high-risk maneuvers and the moves he does. And Owen wrestles so brilliantly and smart, like JR said. I kind of borrowed from one of Jim Ross's lines on commentary. Hart took advantage, just like you were aforementioning, that regarding Scorpio's hurt, injured leg, however. And, that sharpshooter, nobody does it better, probably other than Brett, than Owen and the Hart family. So just, hey, Owen and Scorpio, I like them to together. Against each other. I thought they had a good match.
I agree with you. I think that this is a good pairing because Scorpio's a high flyer, Owen's more of the technical guy, and you got to see both styles meshing well together. This was probably Scorpio's best match, that they have had that he's been on at this point on Raw.
I'm with you. I think because you had the right dance partners, you had Owen and Scorpio, and like you said, styles can clash sometimes and be different, not always turn out right. But these guys definitely got their stuff together because this would have a different but better result.
Well, speaking of getting it together, this guy doesn't. The Undertaker arrives backstage and he's on the hunt for Vince McMahon. He goes to his office. He can't find him. But we all are aware that Undertaker is in the building. Speaking of that, we have our next match. We have Chainz taking on Puke, Darren Drozdov. Here are some notes from this situation. Puke nails a drop kick. However, Chainz nails a big boot. And Chainz is getting the win after a Death Valley driver. However, after the match, the Undertaker comes down and he chokeslams Puke and Chainz. He tosses them to the outside. Undertaker says, "I want McMahon." Vince is seen on the Titantron backstage. And Undertaker walks backstage to find Vince. So, that kind of match is just a sort of throwaway match. What would you think of that, Undertaker?
The match was not actually bad between Droz and Chainz, who was Brian Lee, if you followed Smoky Mountain Wrestling. These guys did the best they could. Chainz obviously has more of the experience. You've got Droz that look great. He's definitely an athlete and transitioned into wrestling through his training, as you might imagine. But Undertaker was on a rampage and was after McMahon. And to me, a lot of these matches we're going to find out centered around that story, that Taker is wanting to find McMahon. He wants some answers to whatever questions they may be.
Well, we're gonna talk a little bit about this, and then we're gonna cover it after our break. DX come down to the ring, and they do their basic speech. Are you ready? Triple H says that DX has a little unfinished business with the Nation. However, Legion of Doom 2000 come out with Sonny. Animal says, "Are you ready?" He says, "You got bigger problems than the Nation. At Over the Edge, we beat DOA, and we want our title shot." And then Triple H says, "What are you yelling about? You're going to have an aneurysm." Because they're, screaming. And then DOA come down, and 8-Ball says, "We took it all. We are going to beat Nation, New Age Outlaws, and the DOA should get the title shot." DX then starts to discuss amongst themselves, and Triple H says, "All of you can suck it."
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Screw the fans. Yeah.
Screw them. Commissioner Slaughter comes out and Slaughter says, "LOD, DOA, after a long thought, both of you are the number one contenders, and I am ordering a triple threat match later on tonight." And this is the first ever triple threat tag match in WWE. Before we get your thoughts, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to hear your thoughts about that. Go ahead.
That sounds good. No, I can't wait to share my thoughts after the break.
After the break, we'll be right back. Stay with us. And we are back, and we are still on June 8th, 1998. We're still alive and well. How are you, Tyler? You doing?
We are. I'm doing good. I've made it. I've survived June 8th of 1998, and I'm back in 2022. I've done the time travel.
It's pretty hard. We live a very busy lifestyle that we have to travel from destination.
We do. I mean, people can understand. I think I've heard of a lot of folks having to resort to those kind of tactics.
Yeah, very hard to do.
It's remarkable.
But let's talk about that promo that we just saw before we went on break, where DX pretty much tells LOD 2000 and DOA, like, suck it. None of you guys are going to get the title shot.
They just don't care about or have any respect or decency. That's DX for you, but we all appreciate it. I think it's just a good way to have an entertaining segment to fill some time and to set up this match, to have Slaughter come out as the commissioner. There's really not much to tell. I mean, you explained it so well. I'm just going to, insert that much.
Undertaker searches for Vince McMahon backstage, doesn't find him. We get a promo on Edge. These promos have been going on since April.
Yeah, so we're getting closer to Edge coming, the arrival of the regular superstar, in case there's new listeners, viewers who may not know 1998's when Edge was coming into the company. And Taker being furious, he took out some good catering, by the way. As much as I like Taker, that was a black tie catering event. He just wiped out all the chairs and tables. I mean, come on, that takes some money. That's he's really angry, man. I know, and McMahon will bring out the worst in you. I mean, if your name's Stone Cold Steve Austin or the Undertaker, you're livid.
You're getting the end of an era with Undertaker snapping out of Vince McMahon. I don't know what I'm talking about, Tyler, but just keep going with me. So
no, I follow you. You know what you're talking about. You've got the skills. I don't care what anybody thinks. You're such a professional. I'm trying to live up to your standards. I mean, I'm rocking out too. Hey, we're DXing it, baby.
All the way out.
Yeah, we're doing the D Generation X game. We are changing the game. Let me back up. Let me do better than that. Come on.
Game changers.
We're bringing the energy. We're bringing the heat.
Bringing the heat. We have our King of the Ring first round match between Mark Henry and Vader. Two big powerhouses going at it.
Two big old boys.
Two big boys. Vader starts trying to slam Henry, but he can't. Henry ends up slamming Vader, nails an elbow drop and a leg drop. Vader runs into Mark Henry, dropping him twice, and then Vader eventually body slams Henry. Henry hits a power slam, but then the Undertaker walks down to the ring, and he choke slams. He, being Undertaker, choke slams Mark Henry and Vader. So none of these guys win because Undertaker gets involved. But what did you think of the match?
I thought the match was interesting to have two guys this massive of size with Vader, Mark Henry. Trading the body shots was a neat spot to see. They open up the match early on, at least in the matchup. He slammed the Mastodon. That's what was kind of funny. They were calling Vader the Mastodon. Vince McMahon just had this thing about calling Big Van Vader the Mastodon. That's how we get him over. He's the Mastodon. Yeah, whether it's Vince, it's Road Warrior Hawk, or it's Luna Vachon saying it. I love it. But Henry needed to look awesome. He defeated Terry Funk because these guys are legends, so it helps establish him. That's the way I looked at it. The world's strongest man, slam Vader. Vader is able to slam Mark Henry. And then, but the finish is we don't get one because Undertaker's still mad. So he doesn't care about Vader or Mark Henry. He's coming out here choke slamming everybody. It's just chaos, man. Nobody's going to win or lose a match, it seems. At least some of them.
It's a complete clusterfuck nightmare with Undertaker, man. Undertaker's got to get put under control.
He's got to find McMahon because he's just running all the I'm a Taker fan, but how many more choke slams do we need?
Well, we have our next King of the Ring first round match. Dan Severn taking on D'Lo Brown here. And D'Lo nails a spinning heel kick. Dan goes for a German. and he applies a bow and arrow hold, and he gets the win. After the match, Owen Hart nails a spinning heel kick. Ken Shamrock runs down, and Owen runs away from Shamrock through the crowd. So this whole Severn Shamrock Owen Hart business is going to intermingle eventually, but
it keeps building.
It keeps building. What did you think about Dan winning and Owen Hart attacking afterwards?
I like D'Lo Brown a lot, and it reminds me of why I have a lot of affection for his wrestling style, for his attitude, his demeanor, his promo skills. He really was completely the real deal, was D'Lo Brown, and the whole pairing with the Nation of Domination. He relied upon his quick offense. I was taking some quick notes. And Dan the Beast Severn with his suplexes before Brock Lesnar. Him and Shamrock were doing the Suplex City, the early versions. And throwing D'Lo around was impressive because D'Lo's a big boy himself.
Yes,
and his stability involves mat wrestling, which is always nice because it gets back to its origins of the actual amateur wrestling style. And that bow and arrow, you just said it, what an innovative submission. The way Severn won the match. I like how Owens continuing the heat, so-called, with the after the finish, attacking Severn, and then Shamrock chases him off because he's the heel. He's cowarding his way out. So we see him run through the crowd. They're chasing. That was a neat scene.
He's chasing him, man. He wants to get his hands on Owen Hart. You know, Owen tried to fuck him up.
Yeah, I mean, that Owen Hart's just dastardly what he did to Severn. I mean, Shamrock don't like Severn, but he doesn't like what the Nation and what Owen Hart's up to, and leave it to Owen, a master ribber, and he's even doing it in the ring. How dare he?
He's getting the personal life on TV. Speaking of personal life, we get a tribute video to Sable because she's no longer with the WWE.
I was very saddened by this video. I had tears in my eyes.
See her again on TV.
I mean, we're never going to see Sable again, and that's a travesty. I want my money back. We're not going to see Sable again.
Yeah, but we saw her every week.
I was downtrodden. I'm going to use some fancier words. I needed a Christmas song. I needed a Valentine's Day song. Not that I would ever have a shot, and now she's with Brock Lesnar, who I'm not going to make mad. Even Mero, I wouldn't make mad. Actual boxer, not to mention wrestler, but Sable, to me, just tugged on the heartstrings. I mean, I was like Jerry the King Lawler. I just always found her to just be not only attractive, but just a masterpiece. And I was so sad. I hate to sound redundant, but that's some of the words. When you're emotional, you can't help but sound repetitive. Oh, I'm getting tears. I need a John Deere letter.
Nah, listen, Sable will be back soon, so don't worry.
I sure hope so. Let's pray it can bring her back. Please find some way.
So we have Dustin Runnels now taking on Val Venis. Different pairing here. Runnels with the punch and backdrop. He clotheslines Val to the outside. He then sends Val into the steps. Val takes control with a back suplex. Dustin nails an atomic drop and then a clothesline again. Dustin with a flying clothesline gets 2 count, and then he nails a bulldog. And Undertaker walks down and he chokeslams Val and Dustin. So again,
here we go again.
Yeah, really no winner here for this one. What'd you think?
I thought it's a shame because another good match. I get why the Undertaker came back and attacked him at a chokeslam. The participants again, the wrestlers. I hate to say participants. That's not right, but you know what I'm talking about. Dustin is one of the great in-ring workers, even back in WCW, and he proved it here. I mean, he was starting to come into his own in his career, and Val Venis could work. Val Venis had a lot of talent and a very entertaining gimmick, and those ladies were smiling. They loved Val. When he was doing the towel thing and saying, hello, ladies, that's all they needed. Yeah, and Ant's doing the moves. I mean, oh, my goodness. Oh, wow. Whoa, I didn't think we were going to get this. This is edgy. Speaking of edge, that's something.
A normal
but yeah, Taker, you know, it's a late Friday night. Oh, goodness, where were we? I'm distracted. No, Taker, no. You did it. Where was I? No, I'm just kidding. But Taker keeps coming out and just attacking Runnels and Venis. He was going by his actual name, Dustin Runnels. That was Dusty Rhodes' real name. They were the Runnels, not Goldust here. But whether he was Goldust or Runnels, he was one of the best. And Val Venis proved he was more than a gimmick. The guy had the skills. So I thought the match was actually pretty good.
I agree, man. It was a very good match. Undertaker kind of came in and ruined it, but you know, he's pissed.
Yeah, leave it to Taker. He's angry.
He's angry. Well, next we have our WWE Tag Team titles on the line, the Triple Threat match. The champions, the New Age Outlaws with China, defending against LOD 2000 with Sonny and the DOA. And we've seen Undertaker attacking Commissioner Slaughter backstage before the match.
Poor Sergeant Slaughter. He just can't catch a break.
Fuck him. We see Triple H.
Oh, come on.
He's annoying. X-Pac.
I love Sarge.
Fuck him. X-Pac and Triple H.
You're just doing that now to just hack me off. Okay, you want to go that slow? Oh, there he goes. One more time. I swear. No, I'm just teasing. No, I'm not.
So pretty much I don't know what's happening here. Triple H and X-Pac sit on the stage with signs. 8-Ball nails a big boot to Animal. DOA then nail a double big boot to Road Dogg. Gotta turn my paper over here. Hawk nails the suplex, but Skull gets up really quick. Road Dogg nails a knee to the back of Skull's head. Skull hits a sidewalk slam to Road Dogg and gets a 2. Animal with a flying shoulder tackle. I like how I'm looking over this way as I'm talking. Maybe I should.
I think it's great. Wait a minute. You disappeared for a minute. See, it is uncensored.
It is.
Where did Ann go? Where did the host of the program? Yeah.
Okay, so I guess I'll look this way. So yeah, Skull nails. Yeah. Okay, so Animal and 8-Ball send Road Dogg into Billy Gunn. Billy Gunn then pins Road Dogg, who drops onto the floor, and the New Age Outlaws get the win. So basically, the way the ending of the match happens, Road Dogg tags in Billy pins Road Dogg, and they win. So that was pretty much.
It's pretty much just a showcase, what the teams could do. Everybody got their offense in, but what a clever way for the New Age Outlaws to retain by Road Dogg and Billy. You know, it was LOD and DOA thinking they had outwitted their opposition, but in fact, it was DX who outsmarted them, and it was Road Dogg letting Billy Gunn pin him, and they got the win and were able to get out of the match with the title. So it was actually a unique way to finish a match. I liked it.
Very unique. We see a lot of cops show up backstage. We then have Al Snow. He talks to Jerry the King Lawler at ringside. However, the police show up and take Al away.
Poor Al Snow can't catch a break, and the cops are finally tired of Undertaker. That's probably orders by Mr. McMahon. He's interfering in matches. He's threatening him. He's a Humanitarian of the Year award winner. So the police had to make a very notable 911 call in.
He did. And speaking of Vince comes out with the Stooges, and the Undertaker is backstage as police surround him. So you allude to that. Stone Cold Steve Austin comes out with a tie and jean shorts. And Vince says, "Thank you for joining us. We have 1986 New York Giant member George Martin. George Martin grabs the mic and says, "Thank you, even though you sent us less." And the second attempt to cash in your check. The children understand with your busy schedule that you can't see them in person, even though you're supposed to donating this money and we're really not even getting it. But
sure,
my favorite wrestler is Stone Cold Steve Austin. Then we see Chicago Bears former player Darnell Autry. He presents Vince with the Humanitarian Award, and Darnell says, "I don't remember Vince giving us a check, and my favorite superstar is Stone Cold Steve Austin." So then Vince says, "Your attempted humor precedes my generosity. I'd like to thank you. I humbly but deservedly accept the award tonight. I deserve such an accolade." And then Stone Cold Steve Austin takes money from Vince's pockets, and Stone Cold says, "There's $1,200 on behalf of the tightest SOB in the world, Vince McMahon." I'd like to give Stone Cold. Wait, hang on. Wait, my handwriting is really bad. He says,
"No, don't worry, we're understanding."
And then Stone Cold pretty much gives them that money, and then Druids come out with a casket, and Mankind attacks Stone Cold Steve Austin from behind. Kane appears from the casket, and Kane helps Mankind attack Stone Cold. Kane sends Stone Cold into the casket and stands on top of it, sending down pyro. So this seems like a setup, in my opinion, by Vince. You know, the Undertaker can't get into the ring. Mankind and Kane are able to attack Austin. He invites Austin to join him. Why would he want
something's fishy.
Conspiracy.
I think it is a setup. No, I think it is. I think it was brilliant by McMahon to do this because he finally one-upped. Again, you got to have certain weeks of the episodes of Raw for McMahon and his stooges, Briscoe and Patterson, to be able to one-up the opposition. And the Undertaker became another enemy, an adversary, or so they're, telling that story. I as a Cowboys fan, I don't care about the Giants or Bears, but I do respect these guys. I know they were great players. I was going to try to be comical, but notice how I was trying to have the good segue and give them their accolades.
I don't know much about them, so I wouldn't be able to.
Well, to be honest, and to say this respectfully, I don't either, and that's no knock. I just until hearing their names on Raw. But Vince McMahon, you said it. I mean, he was using these big words, a wordsmith, and really eloquent, I guess is how you would say it. I don't think I said it right, but you get what I'm saying.
Eloquent.
Yeah, that was great. That's the Southern version. But I think that Kane and Mankind coming, from under the ring was just clever. And they closed the show like they needed to with kind of a cliffhanger, but not overdoing it. I mean, does that make sense? What would you say to that?
I definitely think it was like a cliffhanger because, you're kind of left wondering, was this a setup? Austin's attack. Why didn't Undertaker fight the police? I mean, he probably could have annihilated all of them.
Yeah, because he would have probably won. I never got that, but they must have had some kind of supernatural power over him.
Guess so.
Yeah, I mean, because now he's. I thought it was good. I'll actually agree with you. I'm going to have to start disagreeing to keep it fun because I'm a yes man, and I don't like that.
That's what the ladies. That's what Tyler says anytime a lady asks him to get laid. You
said it, not me. I mean,
so here's the thing. I think that was a good ending to a pretty basic Raw, you could say. I mean, it wasn't
one of my favorites. I didn't care for the whole black tie thing, if I'm being honest. I get it had to be unique, but I don't know. I just didn't feel it. I'm with you. I will concur. It just, I mean, there was some good angles still that were progressing, and still pretty decent matches, but it was not one of the more memorable Raws. And I realize you can't always have them like that.
Kane looks like a dominant challenger, obviously. They want Kane to be this monster, this force, and he definitely is one. And
he is that monster. Kane, they're building him correctly with the whole this, record with the whole brother storyline, and it's good in here with them in this match.
We cannot have a show without Tyler's voice changing towards. Here we go.
My voice change.
Here he is. Wait. Oh. Say hello, sir. Well, no, guys, it's the end. At least Tyler's not much to say now after this part.
I voice change, but I'm in the presentation.
Well, there we go. Hello. That sounded like a lot of good. It was like blah, 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 blah.
It was me. It was me speaking the language, I guess.
There you go.
It's supernatural.
You're back.
Yeah, there's that supernatural language. That was funny. When did that come in? The la 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 or whatever.
You're the reason why Undertaker was held backstage for so long.
I was the puppet master. I was speaking that language, that evil druid language.
I guess
the cops must restrain him for McMahon. La 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 la.
So let's go over the couple of weeks ahead. We have Raw Is War coming from June 15th, 1998. That's episode 32. They're going to be live in San Antonio, Texas. Then episode 33 of Attitude Years, we have from June 22nd, 1998. Raw is going to be live in Austin, Texas. And then we have our special King of the Ring 1998 episode. They're live in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And we wrap it up with Raw Is War live in Cleveland, Ohio on June 29th, 1998. The summer of Attitude, man, coming to a head. But I
I'm
mean,
looking forward to all of that.
yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with Attitude. Who doesn't love a little bit of Attitude? We need a lot here.
Yeah, we need some attitude. You're exactly right.
I promise to love you.
And you got to sing some more. That's popular by demand or popular demand. How do you say it?
It's in popular demand that people want to hear me sing, right?
See, I've got to correct my own English. I can't even speak right.
The teacher has left the building.
The teacher never taught me, obviously.
I guess
Oh, my
not. I
goodness.
guess I need to get fired. Well,
No, you did good. It's not a reflection on you. It's on me. It's evidently I'm bilingual or something. I didn't realize I was speaking a different language or something. That's funny. When I go back and listen, they'll go, okay, when did he become somebody else?
He's in.
Was that a storyline?
It was a lot of different characters.
It was Bob Shango.
It was like,
yeah,
I really like the cool move.
I'll do my own impersonations. Yeah. I think that may catch on. We'll see more podcasters channeling the gimmicks, like Warriors interviews. It'll be a bunch of mumbo jumbo nonsense that'll really connect. And then people will be more or less scratching their heads like, what's he talking about? I can't even understand him.
It's pretty scary.
Yeah.
Well,
it is scary. I mean, it is close to Halloween.
Speaking of Halloween, I want to do something kind of fun here since it is the actual.
All right.
Tyler, give us a scary movie recommendation. It doesn't necessarily have to be scary. It could be like, maybe like a family Halloween classic cartoon. Maybe it could be like a very scary movie. It could be something that maybe you can watch with your kids. Give us a movie that you recommend to watch this week for Halloween because Halloween's coming up. What's a movie that I should watch?
You're saying though the kids have to be with you? Or
no, I'm saying that could be
okay.
You could pick any scope of how, as long as it's Halloween, any scope is fine.
It's kind of hard because I've not seen all the classic Halloween movies, but I'm going to go back retro naturally. I think anything Freddy Krueger still scares me because if I go to sleep, I still get bothered, even though that's back in the 80s. Yeah, I feel like a hand's going to come after me in a bathtub or something. Well, the
thing that's cool about it is there's actually that whole sleep paralysis things where it's like you can kind of, there's people who don't get sort of stuck in their nightmare and they don't wake up.
No, I have heard that was actually, if you read the backstory, Wes Craven, I think somewhere he had got the idea for the whole concept from some actual real life. Not saying it was like Freddy Krueger, not going that extreme, but something to the effect like you were mentioning.
So you're dropping some Freddy Krueger. Okay, cool. So Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm going to drop a movie that is more family friendly, and because it took place in 1998, Halloween Town, watch
Halloween
on
Town.
Elm Street, be terrified, and then the next night watch Halloween Town and be, get the dude.
There you go. Get a contrast where you can be really scared and then it's kind of a good feel kind of scare. There you go. See what team we're making. And you never know. I may speak German, Spanish next week. It may be a wrestling language. Who knows? Obviously, I had some kind of mishap there. It was Undertaker. He showed up. He was threatening me.
Man.
He was getting tired of us, making fun of the finishes and him ruining everything. And that's what happened.
Even thought about the fact that he didn't attack the police. He's mad that we even went there, but
it's my fault.
We have killed it.
We always do.
We always do. Thank you all for listening. It was a decent Raw. Some stuff happened.
It was interesting.
That's interesting. Next week, I know a lot more is going to happen because we were on the road to King of the Ring Night 98. That is a crazy pay-per-view. Check out Nightmare on Elm Street. Check out Halloween Town. And that's
you got to watch them.
Tyler, any last words, my friend?
I just want to say thank you to Ann. It's always a fun, good time to be on the Uncensored Wrestling podcast to review the attitude years of the WWE and WWF then. And I want to plug the Rewind Wrestling Radio podcast. There's the radio for you. Standing Strong with Waylon Myers, back when with Danny and Tyler. Also, I've said this program. And if there's any others, hey, go check them out. I'll remember them next time. So that's a good thing about the next episode. But that's some of the ones you can go check out now.
I have been so happy to
Wrestle Buddy. Oh gosh, I better mention them and Geek Buddy. Yeah, and Geek Buddy. Their sister website because I'm gonna I better plug them. Yeah. I better plug them. Yeah, I just thought about it.
I'm glad I'm able to that Tyler that I can let. I don't want to say I can let, but I'm glad that Tyler has all these other connections, and I'm letting that he's able to leave me for a bit and do some other stuff as well. So definitely check out Tyler.
Oh, thank you for that. And I'm glad to join you. I mean, because you're important.
You're doing
you put up with me. Yeah.
Check him out.
I appreciate it.
Busy buddy. But all right, you guys be safe. Yes, definitely check out Tyler in all those formats.
See y'all.
And I'll be here. Yes. Bye. Peace, y'all.